Hello, it's James and Edith in today for Simon and Mark. Next up then, Seth MacFarlane. We had the pleasure of chatting to him earlier on this week. He's got a new film out called A Million Ways to Die in the West. James, you want to tell everyone about it?
Well, I mean, I think first of all we should say that bless him, he was a bit jet lagged, wasn't he?
Wee bit tired.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit tired.
About the film, though, he's described it as a modern comedy set in 1882. So he plays a character called Albert. He's a sheep farmer out in the Wild West. He's got a very modern awareness of things, very modern awareness of the situation that he's in. So he hates the Wild West and he hates the danger and the poverty and the action, and he's fed up with being stuck there. And he's also just been dumped by his girlfriend, played by Amanda, I'm going to say Seyfried, only because I heard her say on the radio the other day that that's actually how you pronounce it.
Really?
She doesn't really mind. She doesn't care how you pronounce it, but officially it should be
Seyfried.
I think
I've been saying
Seyfried.
Seyfried all
Yeah,
these
I mean,
years.
it seems weird to say it, but there you go. But then this mysterious woman rides into town. This is Charlize Theron, and she could be just the help that Albert needs to get out of the situation that he's in.
We live in a terrible place and time. The American West is a disgusting, awful, dirty, dangerous place. Look around you. Everything out here that's not you wants to kill you. Outlaws, angry drunk people, scorned hookers, hungry animals, diseases, major and minor injuries, Indians, the weather. You can get killed just going to the bathroom. See those guys over there? The guys who work in the silver mines? See what they're eating? Ribs doused in hot sauce. They eat hot, spicy foods every meal of the day. You know why? Because their palates are so completely dulled from inhaling poison gas 12 hours a day down in the mines. That's all they can taste. You know what that kind of diet does to your guts? They literally die from their own farts.
So the film then, can I just throw my 5 pence worth?
Oh, please, yeah.
Because when I sat down to watch this film, I was instantly impressed by the opening scene and the music and the score that kind of went over that. And I think that's the reason that I remembered Calamity Jane, and it was in my head because that's what it kind of reminded me of, those old school. And when I heard that and saw it, I was like, oh, it's a musical. Because that's kind of what it felt like when it started. But then it kind of went into this kind of craziness.
And the score definitely has echoes of other Western scores that you will know. And I mean, you just have to shoot Monument Valley and places like that, and immediately in a lovely widescreen, immediately you're thinking, yeah, I'm in classic Western territory. So he clearly knows and loves the genre. I think that's very obvious. But and I'm a big Seth MacFarlane fan. I like Ted. I have this sort of ritual every night where I have to watch both episodes of BBC Three's Family Guy before I can go to bed. That's like what I have to do.
Dedication.
Normally fall asleep and wake up during American Dad, but that's what happens. So I'm dedicated to the MacFarlane work. But I had a couple of problems with this. First of all, I think that the main problem can be summed up like this: too many fart jokes. And I think at best...
Can you have too many fart jokes?
I think it depends what kind of fart joke.
Okay.
At best, and you certainly see this in Family Guy, what MacFarlane can do brilliantly is stuff that actually is quite challenging. It's funny, but it can sort of push buttons and break taboos and challenge conventions and can be quite satirical. And the best bits of A Million Ways to Die in the West are when that happens. The problem is, I don't think there are that many of them. There's certainly fewer and more far between than I would have liked. There are, however, a lot of fart jokes. And jokes about breaking wind per se aren't a terrible thing, but they are combined with lots of jokes that I would class as from the same family: the willy joke, the bum joke, etc. And I think the fact is, Seth MacFarlane can do better than that. Now, you can look at the classic spoof Western, which is Blazing Saddles, and say, well, James, there's the most famous fart joke of all time in that, when the cowboys are eating their beans and sitting around the fire. But that is not just a joke about trumping. It's also... But it's also breaking a convention, isn't it? It's
Any
like
other
breaking...
words for breaking wind, please send them into
I looked on the thesaurus. It's also sort of taking the mick out of a convention of the Western. So it's a Trump joke that works on two levels. But in A Million Ways, the fart joke is just the fart joke. And although there are some nice moments in it, there's some nice stuff about the travelling medicine show and the photographer and the local brothel, and the whole place at the Wild West is just very dangerous and just this incredibly Dangerous Place to Live. That's some nice stuff, but really they're not punchy enough, and he does just rely on the stupid body noises and body parts a little bit too much. And going back to Blazing Saddles, I mean, ultimately that was a film about racism, really, wasn't it? As much as it was a jokey comedy, the centre of that film was about a black sheriff in that town and how people reacted to it. It had some punch, but A Million Ways, I think, is really lacking that punch. It's really lacking a point to the jokes. And secondly, it became very clear to me when watching it that you can get away with a lot when your main character is, in the case of Ted, an animated teddy bear, or in Family Guy, it's a baby, Stewie Griffin, or Brian Griffin the dog, when they're cute animated characters, and somebody cute and animated saying something filthy is funny.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, of course, I mean, there's no reason to have any animated characters, but there aren't. They're just human beings. And actually, although Seth MacFarlane is quite good in it, and he's a very lovely bloke, and, he just looks like kind of the guy next door, and it's not really that cheeky or hilarious to see him say jokes. It's a lot funnier when he's doing it as a voice for a character. And sometimes, actually, when he says stuff, it feels a little bit offensive. And I think that it wouldn't feel like that if it was coming from the mouth of a cute, cheeky baby, for example, like in Family Guy. When it's just a human being saying it, it's not as funny as when it's a teddy bear.
Do you know who I thought was really good in this was Neil Patrick Harris as
Yes,
boy. I
best
really
thing.
thought his scenes kind of as this kind of slightly uptight moustache wearing, I don't know, what would you call him, barber? Is he a barber?
Well, yeah, he owns a shop for people with moustaches.
Yeah, and there's and the song, the one song in the film is the moustache song, which I thought was one of the best things about it.
Neil Patrick Harris is absolutely, I think, the best thing in it. And there's a nice little gag as well for fans of 80s teen sci-fi movies that they might appreciate.
Yes.
And like I said at the beginning, it is clearly made by someone who loves the genre. But I think he could have paid homage to it in perhaps a slightly classier way. I was disappointed that it just didn't have that sassiness about it that his other work has had, and he does just seem to go for the very obvious jokes.
Have you listened to Tarzan Boy though since you watched the film?
Tarzan Boy, which is on my Europop playlist on
yeah.
the MP3 player. I think I haven't, but I will go home tonight and listen to it.
Right, that is A Million Ways to Die in the West. We've got